This is one of the world's most notorious prisons. There are almost no pictures of its exterior and none from inside. And what happens within its walls is cloaked in secrecy. Until now. We've devised a unique way of revealing what life is like inside a torture prison. And we've done it by talking to people who were there and have survived its horrors.
ذكرت في لحظة حلوة، كل شيء سيء بحياتي ذكرته بالسجن يعني.
هون سقط كثير ضحايا وسقط كثير مساجين يعني قتلوا.
دائما أنا أستذكر الفترة السابقة للرغم من يعني صعوبتها.
And using their recollections and the testimony of others, we've built an interactive 3D model which can take you for the first time inside Saydnaya. In a unique collaboration, Amnesty International has teamed up with forensic architecture of Goldsmith, University of London, to reconstruct both the sound and architecture of Saydnaya prison, and to do it using cutting-edge digital technology to create our model.
Starting frame, and then you navigate.
This spoke-shaped building lies 30 kilometers north of the capital Damascus. It's impossible to know how many people have been incarcerated here, but one thing is clear. Since the beginning of the Syrian crisis in 2011, tens of thousands of people have been detained or disappeared by President Assad's government in a network of prisons, like this one, around the country. More than 15,000 have died in custody.
What is going on literally behind closed doors are crimes against humanity, systematic torture, widespread abuses, thousands of people who've died in the custody of the Syrian government since 2011.
In order to understand this whole world that is this prison, we have to only rely on the memory of the people who have been there.
Memory is the only resource within which we can start reconstruct what has taken place. What does it feel like to be a prisoner in Saydnaya?
Salam Othman, a lawyer from Aleppo, arrested for organizing peaceful protests in September 2011. 2 years, 5 months in Saydnaya.
أول ما وصلنا سمعنا أول شيء صراخ العسكر اللي كانوا موجودين هناك، يعني فرحتهم باستقبال سجناء. فأول ما فتحوا البراد كل عسكري مسك سجين ونهال عليه بالضرب.
The model can take the user through both solitary confinement cells, group cells, to give a sense of how the detainees lived. It also allows you to navigate the internal structure of the prison and to hear, in a recreated way, some of the sounds that they would have experienced.
For most prisoners, Saydnaya was the end of a journey that has taken them through numerous detention facilities, where they often had to sign confessions under extreme torture.
Jamal Abdu, a community worker from Damascus, arrested for helping civilians displaced by the crisis in 2012. 1 year, 5 months in Saydnaya.
أنا كنت شخص ما حملت سلاح على النظام، أنا كنت متظاهر سلمي، كنت أنظم المظاهرات.
One by one, they sat down with our 3D computer modeler and sound specialist to return to the darkest of places. And through their painful memories, forensic architecture pieced together each detail to build a whole picture.
Anas Hamado, a farmer from Latakia, arrested for attending a peaceful protest in March 2011. 1 year, 3 months in Saydnaya.
هون طبعا شلحنا ثيابنا كلياتنا يعدونا، بطيحة ترفع رجليك لفوق، طبعا بالكابل هون بصير الضرب.
طبعا وضعوا كل سجين بوضعية بحيث يكون منحني على الأرض بحيث ما يجلس ظهره أبدا. يكون منحني يعني هيك الجسم والرأس قريب إلى الأرض هو عم بيمشي.
Torture under interrogation has perhaps been confined to the past. That's the intelligence agencies that have been doing that. And what we've heard about the situation in Saydnaya is that the torture there is more just of a punishment.
حطونا بالغرفة، عطونا تعليمات إنه ما بصير يطلع صوت، ما بصير حدا يحكي، ممنوع كل شيء، ممنوع تشوف.
نومك بأمر، وفيقتك بأمر، وأكلك بأمر، ودخولك على الحمام بأمر.
وسكروا الباب ورانا. طبعا هن وقت سكروا الباب نحن يعني في شعور من الصدمة والوهلة الأولى، يعني في رعب إنه نحن وين.
Overall, everything about Saydnaya prison serves to destroy the detainee. The conditions, and they are horrendous conditions, the torture, and there are a range of torture techniques, particularly beatings, but also then acts of cruelty and humiliation that detainees face on a daily basis. People come out broken if they come out at all.
لأنه وقت اللي يدخلوا الأكل إنه تحس معركة يعني الضرب، كل زنزانة يقتلوا يا رئيس الزنزانة يا أما بيطلعوا اثنين يقتلوه، يعني بتسمع أصوات يعني قلبك بينزل على الأرض من كتر الضرب. بتصير أنت عم دخل عندك هيك بترجف بتعمل تلقائيا ما بإيدك يعني.
طبعا خلال هاي الفترة اللي كنا فيها عم نتعاقب تحت أمام المفردات في دم كتير كان بالأرض، في رائحة زنخة ودم. طبعا بالخارج كان في حالة من الهدوء التام، ما في صوت نهائي، حالة من السكون التام، يعني أحيانا صوت نقاط من الماء عم تزرب من السقف.
Diab Seri, an activist from Damascus, arrested for criticizing the government in March 2006. 5 years in Saydnaya.
صيدنايا هو عبارة عن سجن سكون، في سكون شديد، الناس ما بتقدر تعلي صوته، ما بتقدر تحكي بحرية، يعني أي حدا بيعلى صوته فهو معرض كان للعقوبة أو للضرب.
In order to survive, prisoners developed an acute sense of hearing.
These people are held in a constant state of alert because if they knew the guards were coming and they were sneaking up on them and they were prepared, it meant that they might survive by being in their positions.
أول بلش بالقفل الفوقاني 3 دقات. طبعا بدك تكون جاسيا، ما بصير تقعد هيك ومطمش طبعا هيك.
Even when they were not being tortured, conditions in Saydnaya were exceptionally harsh for the inmates. There was extreme cold at night, a lack of medical care, the constant threat of disease, and not enough to eat.
يعني كل فترة بتطلع الصور على السوشيال ميديا لناس فاتت على هذا السجن كان وزنها 100 كيلو أو 110 كيلو، طلعت 45 أو 40 كيلوغرام يعني.
What people don't often realize is that many detainees have died because they've had completely treatable conditions. They've had a cut that's got infected, they've had a rash, they've had an ingrown toenail, and because they've faced a desperate lack of medical care, they've ended up dead.
بيكون في عسكري بهي المنطقة بهي المنطقة، ما حدا بيعرف الأرقام الحقيقية، وما حدا بيعرف نوعية التعذيب البشع اللي عم يصير جوا.
What we're trying to do with this effort is try to build the story of this prison and try to speak up for all these people who are still in there, because this is not something that is finished.
الحقيقة أنا بعتقد إنه كل معتقل قدر يطلع من السجن عنده رسالة لازم يوصلها بأي طريقة للعالم كله، ليعرف العالم كله شو عم يصير بالسجون النظام السوري.
People are dying in Saydnaya prison still. They're being tortured there. They're also being tortured in a whole network of other detention facilities across Syria. The world needs to wake up, and the world can take action, and it can ensure that now that there are some form of stop-start peace negotiations, that the whole issue of detention practices, the abuses that are occurring in detention on a daily basis in Syria are prioritised, brought to the top of the agenda, and something finally is done about it.